drive for 5 minutes through this city and you'll see London is closed. It can't work, it can't open. Shops need deliveries. I've had business owners in my taxi telling me that they cannot run their business, they cannot open because that man, Sadik Khan, has closed this city down. Look, this guy, look, just talk to people, talk to anybody trying to use the city, trying to run a business, trying to work this city. You will see that this city is shut, is closed, and it's the mayor's responsibility.
How do you think the restrictions on Bishopsgate will affect you?
That's a good question, and it's quite a big answer, really, I think, because it affects me and my family, my kids, in so many ways, but it also affects the communities they live in. So I live in town, I live in Hoxton, and as a London taxi driver living in town, I don't have a big commute to come into work. And already the changes to the kind of street space that's been happening in the last several weeks has been incredibly detrimental to my ability to earn a living wage. It takes me probably 2 days of work now to get my costs to run my business together, and then I need to find the time then for my income to live on, right? And so my wife's working as well, so we're kind of between us, both working full time. I'm driving the cab around my wife's shifts, she's a care worker. So it's quite significant. I'm noticing I'm working more hours and more days of the week. That's the initial kind of impact, really, because the reality is, for me to get to work, for me to get to the jobs that are either being booked, pre-booked on apps, or to get to a taxi rank to stations, it's taken me at least twice as long to travel around the city. Yes. Oh, your foot's caught.
Have your passengers expressed to you how it's affected them?
Absolutely. I mean, the number of times I've picked up either, mums and dads with pushchairs and kids who need access to the shops. Obviously, this time of year, people going to kind of school, shoe shopping for the kids and stuff like that. They're nervous about getting on the underground. If the underground is even accessible, it's not always accessible, it's not step free. If they can get on a bus, quite often the buses are at capacity. And when you've got small children, you need a reliable transport service. So that's, families. Obviously, wheelchair users, the amount of times I've picked up from hospitals and taking patients to hospitals. Like I say, I live right near the Moorfields Eye Hospital, and I've worked the rank there quite a lot throughout the lockdown period. And a number of people who are significantly detrimentally affected in their journey times when you have to take really massive diversional routes that are impractical, that cause more congestion, and that ultimately are more costly for a passenger who needs a taxi service. It's unreasonable, it's illogical, it's just out of order, I think, what it comes down to, and it's just discriminatory. When roads are closed and through routes are closed, even through residential areas, and I can understand what the council are trying to do to deter and make kind of streets quieter for traffic, but the reality is a taxi is not just traffic, and actually a delivery vehicle, a courier, is not just traffic. You're delivering vital services to people's homes, to people's businesses, and so these measures are impacting me personally, my business as a London taxi driver. They're impacting my customers, my passengers who need a door-to-door service, and they're going to impact people who depend on the road networks, which is all of us. The city needs a functioning, serviceable road transport network, and that's failed at the moment.
I thought you might say that.
London Taxi Radio, the cabby's choice.